3. I hit the button. You never know when it's going to happen. There it is.
There we go. Some real story hours here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Rollin In It. We're going to play some more Scum and Villainy. I'm Kennedy Cooper. I'm the game master. These are my lovely friends that are the players. And yeah, we're just here to do it again this week. Where we last left off, the players had escaped the space prison, the space station where they had been all imprisoned for different reasons. We got little hints at why some of y'all were imprisoned. Some of you, it's still a little unclear how you ended up there. Maybe we'll find out someday. Maybe we won't. But you escaped. Just to recap a little more, with a little more detail. Basically, there was a tugboat that had come to move the space station. There were Scylla Mafia members that had a plan to steal the tugboat. You guys intercepted the plan, got ahead of it, outsmarted the Scylla Mafia as well as station security. And I mean, outsmarted maybe a bit of a stretch, but it's something. It was something. There was
got through with our crickets.
Mostly crickets. A lot of crickets.
A biblical approach to problem solving, sure.
Lots of crickets. And yeah, so it was a good time by all. And y'all made it out with the ship, and a number of other prisoners helped you, so you have like a whole crew on the ship now. And we can also assume that, you know, a few of the dock workers and things like that sided with the prisoners because they're low paid wages, and they were like, hey,
revolutionaries now? Is that what's happening?
We'll come with you guys. It sounds better than the deal we're getting right now. But for the most part, it was prisoners that, y'all worked with. You took over the ship. And now you have this relatively large tugboat ship that you're able to take away and get out of here. And we'll say, for the sake of expediency, because we already said that the mission was over, especially that you didn't encounter like a major issue getting the ship to somewhere where, it was away from law enforcement, because they weren't expecting something like this. And they didn't have any ships large enough ready to chase nearby, because they don't just have, high-speed patrol craft hanging out at
that would be ridiculous and
right. Y'all were not
irresponsible.
Well, and you guys were not at a high security facility. Things like what occurred there don't necessarily, that's like not super common. That said, you are going to accumulate a bit of heat for that, but we'll talk about that in a second.
The heat is on.
So the payoff and upkeep for this last mission, you didn't make any money because you just escaped with your lives. However, I'm going to say that the ship was in good working order, and that there's also no upkeep for your very first mission, because the maintenance
we just
done.
got the thing.
Yeah,
surely they tuned it up before the big job to drag the
exactly. This is a corporate job. They filled the fluids up.
Well, I think all of us have worked corporate jobs. All of us have worked corporate jobs. No, you never do it's always best work.
I mean, listen, it may not be perfect, but it's a lot better than the level of the level of maintenance that y'all will probably be maintaining. Let me just really quick. We have a wonderful 3D model by Wobbly Python, who's not here this week, unfortunately, of the ship. And y'all need to name it. We're going to figure out some of the other details of the ship off camera between this week and next week. But one thing you should figure out is the name of this ship. But you probably want to see it first, and that's reasonable. All right, we're going to lose the music for a second. Sorry, everyone. So that we can look at this instead. Next week, Wobbly will be back and he'll run the images.
I vote the Wobbly Python sucks because he can't vote against it.
I really like the bullying component that has to it, but is it going to work as a science fiction premise?
Gunny McGunface.
in the far future, people still cling to that terrible internet meme of naming ships badly.
Just can't stop.
You can't stop. As you can see, this ship is made to hold some cargo kind of up top in that flat spot, but not very much. It's mostly made for pulling things, which is why it has that kind of interesting shaped docking body.
Is it weird that it looks like a gun?
I think in the far future, all ships are shaped like guns.
A lot of spaceships look like guns in the future.
Most things are shaped like guns.
Most things are shaped like guns now.
Especially the guns.
Pull up with the shit.
So Sid would have no strong opinions about this, choosing really to go with whatever made the collective happiest, because that's sort of it's one of the metrics that he operates on. But me personally, I think the ironic engagement is not the worst name for a spaceship.
Well, y'all can think about that. You don't have to make that decision right this minute. But you do start to spread out, get comfortable in the ship. And start thinking about where you might want to head next, especially to start your downtime. You're looking for a place to go unwind. You've been in prison for weeks, months, maybe years in some of your cases. And also this prison break was stressful, and a lot of you are pretty on edge afterwards. Some of you especially took quite a lot of stress during the last mission and things like that. So you're looking for a place to do some downtime. Now, one of you suggested that the prison station was near Venus. So we're going to say that it was, because that's how things work around here. Also, Kenzo says it's all just phalluses, including guns. So one of you suggested that you were near Venus. So we're going to say that you were relatively near Venus. Venus, as you may or may not remember from our pre-game setting talk, is like relatively heavily populated with cloud cities floating above the surface, and then there's robots mining the surface for valuable materials, and then those get processed in factories, the floating cities, and then shipped out. Venus is not like one of the most important manufacturing hubs. It's actually kind of more mixed between like manufacturing and residential somewhat, but it is like, it leans somewhat industrial. But it's not nearly as industrial as like Mercury or some of the outer moons around Jupiter and Saturn. So you're relatively near Venus. It wouldn't be too hard to get there. There's also a couple of small clusters of space colonies near Venus. So you could also just, find like some quiet, small cluster of colonies somewhere where just a few thousand to a few 100,000 people live. The options for like things that you can get at a place like that will be more limited, but it's an option. You're also not too far from, some other places to maybe get there. You could get to the Earth or Luna. You could get to Mercury. You could even get to Mars, although it's a bit of a stretch. There might be a little bit of weirdness along the way if you went that long. So where do you want to go now that you're sort of free? Keep in mind, by the way, I mentioned some heat while you're thinking about this. This was a max heat mission, 6 heat. You broke out of prison. Law enforcement is interested in learning more about what happened.
Illegal to break out of jail? That's ridiculous.
I thought the future was supposed to be like nice and shit, and they would have that German law that it's not illegal to try to escape.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So you're just shy of being actively pursued by law enforcement, which might seem crazy because you stole a spaceship, but the solar system is pretty big.
There's a no chase policy in this.
You'd be surprised how relatively small of a criminal trespass this is to some extent. But law enforcement is definitely out there asking questions, and If you're not careful, they'll be on your tail soon.
Well, as a good customer service representative, one of my primary roles is to cover our ass. And that being said, as a speaker, I have the starting ability of Air of Respectability, and I get an extra downtime action to lay low. So whenever we leave wherever it is, I start dropping a bunch of sock puppet posts and various conflicting customer reviews and recommendations about both the tow truck company and the prison, and sort of a lot of bot accounts contesting the news stories that may be arising in an effort to diffuse a little bit of this said heat.
You think the moon exists?
All right, so you got a free lay low? Is that what your
That's
power
true.
is?
That
Hell
is-
yeah, awesome. So yeah, we can say before you even decide where you're gonna get to, you like you say, you just kind of get that started. The disinfo campaign must roll out immediately.
Oh, look, you notice how all of the posts about this come out at a certain time, you know? Like,
Geez, several of these accounts are only 4 hours old.
ooh, it's breakfast on Ganymede, time to start posting.
Oh, they're all randomly generated.
I heard the
straight
prison
letters
ship
and
is
numbers.
already at Titan.
Oh, you think the prison is real? Psh,
The real prison is in our minds. Open your eyes, sheeple.
please help me.
So where do you want to go? You're near Venus. Do you want to go to Venus? Do you want to go somewhere else? What are you thinking?
Could we? I'm just thinking we're scum. We're
And villains.
we gotta lay low. We are laying low. We gotta go someplace where people like us are accepted. How about Galileo? Just taking a look at the source materials.
Yeah, Galileo is one of the major colony clusters at L4 Lagrange point 4 near Earth, between Earth and the Moon, or Luna as it's more commonly called now. And Galileo is definitely a place with a lot of political turmoil, a lot of political unrest, a lot of sympathy for people who aren't happy with the way the government was or the way it is now either. The amount of criminal activity and like organized crime isn't incredibly high, but it's definitely a place where a lot of sketchy people hang out.
Oh, this sounds like a Blade Runner ass neon bazaar full of noodle joints and places to get eyes made. Let's do it.
I mean, it's that and then some. Galileo is a cluster of colonies that holds 8.3 billion people. It's one of the most populated places in the entire solar system. So going to Galileo is definitely going to a place where you can disappear.
Want to get away from it all? Want to hide from the highest paid investigators in all of the solar system? Come to Galileo. It's too crappy to actually investigate.
Hey, remember
I
what
just-
happens
I just- No, go ahead.
what happens at Galileo stays in. Hey, that guy took my wallet.
Yeah, let's go to Galileo.
I'm good with that.
Let's go to
Alright.
Moon Ghetto.
So, from where you are, luckily, Earth is not too far away from Venus at this time, and also it's at a favorable angle of trajectory, and you're able to make a pretty easy skip over to Earth's sphere of influence, where Galileo sits again at Lagrange 4, and between Earth and the Moon, and you know, it's just a sight to behold always every time you come to one of these huge colony clusters, especially after being in just like a relatively small space station for a while with just a few thousand people. As your ship pulls up towards this colony cluster, you know, you're hearing little snippets of radio chatter from thousands of ships as you like scan through the frequencies. You know, there's people taxiing ships together, loading and unloading cargo, doing work on the outside of these huge, massive space colonies. And, even building a couple of new ones because Galileo is always slowly growing every year. and it's just an unbelievable bustle of activity. And you know that some of the colonies in particular are kind of more known for like that kind of Blade Runner-esque, where you go to find some cheap drugs and street food and a place to lay low kind of vibes. And you pick out one of those. It's called what is this one called?
The everlasting macadamia.
The everlasting. That's right. Yeah, the everlasting
Mount Rushmore
macadamia. It was built about like midway through. Like Galileo is one of the older colony clusters, so some of the colony units are really, really old. This one was kind of built like midway through, at a time when they were really just the architecture was a little on the brutalist side in a lot of these colonies. And people were just kind of crammed into a lot of concrete blocks.
I'm sorry. I hear someone slagging off the Borg's design philosophy, which is, as you're aware, perfect in every way. And I'm sorry, that's a real world problem. Carry on.
And
So it just looks like a bunch of cubes, is what you're saying.
Not entirely, but there's a lot of, some of it's more sculptural, but there is a lot of just like strong concrete, gray,
hard
space
angles,
long
big
angles,
pillars.
hard angles, yeah. And then even if it's rounded, it's still just kind of like
Cold and unfeeling.
cold and
Heartless.
formless in that kind of way, you know?
Filled with the love of the hearts of the people inside it, not stealing valor for itself.
However,
Sorry,
in
this has become an architecture stream.
however, in the parts of town that are like the more interesting parts of town where you're going to hang out, people have certainly made it their own, repainted some of the concrete, vibrant colors, built out, you know, various structures, especially like in certain areas, like the most popular areas for shopkeepers to set up in particular. They will negotiate, you know, to like build a new shop into any little nook or cranny that possibly exists, so that they can take advantage of like the high traffic areas. So, you know, not everything is hard concrete necessarily, but that's like the pervasive theme, if you will. So yeah, you're here, and it's time to do some downtime. You still have 4 heat left on you at the moment. And just to go over it again, because we're still new to this game, your downtime actions are acquire asset to acquire temporary use of some special item, piece of equipment, for your next mission. Craft, if you want to start building something using rig or hack. Indulge vice to lower your stress. Lay low to reduce your heat. Long-term project. This could be something like, again, as I've mentioned before, something like making friends with a new criminal organization or something of that nature that you don't have a connection with now. Recover, which is to get rid of harm. I think a couple of you took damage. Repair, which is to spend 1 cred to repair the ship. Now the ship again is fine right now. And then train, which is get extra experience for your character, and you kind of explain how you did that. So who wants to lead us with downtime actions? Does anyone know what their downtime actions are and want to get started?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
All right. So I figured this
Groucho, you're next.
Word. So I figured this is a brand new ship, and as the mechanic and the rigger and a person who's gonna want to fuck with it a lot, that I should probably scour this ship from head to toe. I don't know how that's gonna benefit me exactly, but I want to know like every little thing about this ship.
Okay.
So, as a long-term action.
Okay, so we'll start this as a short, long-term project.
Okay.
It'll be a 4-section clock.
Okay.
You keep track of it.
Mhm.
And for the record, I'm keeping track of y'all's heat and stuff for this session, but eventually we'll figure out who wants to be responsible for some stuff like that. So yeah, it's not gonna. This is a pretty decent sized ship, as I've mentioned. Like ships that can get you all around the solar system aren't small, and this is one of those. So doing a thorough inspection of all systems might provide some kind of useful info for you. But yeah, it's gonna take a little while. So let's start that clock, and then I'll have you roll study. Yeah.
It's gonna take me a hot sec, so you might want to move on for a second. And I'll figure that out.
Okay, Groucho. What's your first downtime action? Let's do them one at a time.
So my first downtime action is probably gonna be to establish that old friends. Whenever you land in a new location, write down a friend you know there. I assume, like, I know someone in the
That's
local...
automatic. You don't have to spend a downtime action on that.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, yeah. Just tell me who do you know here? If there's someone you want to know when you get here, tell me who do you know here in Galileo, specifically the everlasting macadamia.
Oh God. I know a local crime squirrel by the name of Little Nuts.
Little nut.
Is it a flying squirrel or a criming squirrel?
It's a little bit of both. I guess both. The flying crime squirrel.
Okay. All right. Crime squirrel.
Crime squirrel. And he
Is there
knows
just
the
an
local-
animal underworld that we're slowly being acquainted with?
slowly.
I mean,
yeah.
clearly Groucho comes from somewhere.
It came from somewhere. It wasn't the sewers. I guess for the downtime action, I spend my time going to look for Little Nuts.
I mean, you know who he is. You could just look him up and find him here.
Okay,
He's always in the same places. He's always in one of the same 3 places.
same trees.
Yeah, there's only 3. There's only 3 bars in town that serve a good nut beer.
Oh God.
Why are you doing this to me? I thought we weren't supposed to curse on this stream, but you're just making it so tempting.
I know. I'm so sorry.
All right.
Also,
Groucho,
there's only
think about
3
your
places
downtime
you can
actions.
be.
Got mine ready.
Are you
What's
ready?
up?
Well, think about your downtime actions. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Microwave. Did you roll study?
I did. Now I have 2 study because I'm smart like that. And also, my particular little special thing is that I'm a construct whisperer. So machines speak to me when I study them. They're whispering little things in my ear. And the first time I roll a critical while fixing or building a particular machine, I can add a simple modification to it. And I have a 4 and a 6 here.
That's not a critical.
Dang it.
Critical's
Do I have
2 sixes.
Man, that's hard. Why'd I pick that one? I don't roll 6s. I
Because
should've
it
done
sounds
that.
cool.
It does sound cool. Okay.
Also, I mean, the ship is talking to you. Just because you can't add that modification without the critical, the ship is talking to you.
It's talking to me. I'm gonna know this ship really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so with the 6, put 2 sections of the clock.
Great.
Cool. Who has a downtime action ready? Who's ready? Sid.
I am very excited to join the world of crypto nicotine. So I will be. We're gonna just caveat out that instead of smoking cigarettes, my downtime, my vice is mining crypto cigarettes, and so I'm gonna do that.
It's a real good downer because it just
I mean, you
slows
don't have
down
to
your
caveat
processor.
it away. Maybe you just switch. You were just like, dang,
We'll
this
switch
for,
it through,
for
yeah,
a robot, this is a way purer experience.
I mean, really,
These
that was a prison-specific economy, but we can get that established in other places. We
Oh
can
no,
make
it
this a
doesn't matter.
system-wide
He's
thing.
like Sid loves the feeling of just running his processor
Absolutely
to get
hooked.
towards nicotine. So
Wondering
yeah,
if
so
Keith's first downtime project is going to be a long-term project to bring the franchise here. But anyway, Sid, keep going.
so yeah, that is indulge my vice, which is you should know this better what that role is.
It's
1d6, and then which direction does it go? But
where's the downtime? There it is. You roll your lowest attribute. So your attributes are the greater stat.
yep.
The big boys.
So lowest or greatest?
Lowest.
Lowest.
Well, then that'll be 1. And that's a 3. So that's 3 stress off. Is that right?
Yep. And how many stress did you have?
I had 4, so I came in just under.
You know, you did just about perfect then, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't want to overindulge now.
I'd have to have some kind of problem, and that'll be exciting, and we'll deal with it later. And you know what? I am gonna just go hang out at a cyber cafe, which is very specifically a cafe for robots. Everything's in QR codes, and you can come in, but they don't have anything for you. And I'm gonna go with spending the my other downtime action pushing the heat down some more. Doing some more laying low and building some more sock puppet accounts, setting up IP addresses elsewhere, and you know,
maybe coming up with some new paperwork for the ship.
yeah, there we go. That's yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Of course. Hello. I need to register. I need to get a new registration for my spaceship. I appear to have lost it.
This is a brand new. Well, it is a used, but new to me, recently purchased spaceship. All I have are these temporary tags.
They're made out of cardboard.
Cool. So y'all are down to just 2 heat now, which is not so terrifying thanks to Sid's work. Who's ready for a downtime action?
I got one.
Okay, Teeth.
All right. So I would like to attempt to locate a ship module, a cloaking device, if possible, because see, we're on the run. We've got a stolen ship. We got to hide this ship, but also use it. So, let me see.
Also, even if we have nothing to hide, it is acceptable to desire privacy.
Yeah. So we, the first issue, obviously, we don't have cash, but I can still spend a downtime action trying to locate it, right? Or locate someone sell it to us.
You can do one of 2 things. You can do an acquire asset and just temporarily acquire a cloaking device without exchanging cash, just with your downtime action.
Oh, perhaps through theft.
But you'll only have it through the next mission. It'll be something that you're sort of borrowing, or maybe it's a fault if you stole it, like it's faulty or something like that. Otherwise, if you want to start a long-term project to permanently install a cloaking device on the ship, that is also something you could do.
Yeah, I would like to do the latter.
Okay.
As we dock a big pop-up ad, scratch and dent cloaking devices. No, get the good one.
And to be clear, this is not like you're building a cloaking device, but rather it is a long-term project to acquire one off the black market.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
I wouldn't want to ride in this cloaking device.
Let's make that. It'll be a 6-part clock.
All right.
That you'll be keeping track of. Tell me what's your first step gonna be in looking for this?
Well, first of all, we got to locate, let's say, the ship equivalent of a used car. Actually, no.
You're so close. You can say it.
Teeth's gonna take a look around the seedier parts of the ship docks. Try to locate maybe a sort of a chop shop operation. That sort of thing. He's got eyes for this sort of thing, being a little familiar with how things work. I'd like to take a look around, see what looks like they're selling ship parts out of the back of a space van.
Okay, yeah. So I think this is gonna be probably studying again.
Study? Oh
Yeah.
boy, I don't have any points in that.
that mean
So
it's
that
a
means
Devil's
you roll
bargains
2
can't help
dice
you now,
and you
son.
take the lower one.
2 dice, lower one. Okay.
It really doesn't like you trying new things.
Yeah, it does not.
You don't even get experience for this one.
Oh
No.
boy. I rolled a 3
Not
and a
in
1.
mission.
Great.
Wait, does this count as a desperate action? No.
No, because we're not in a mission.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
this is the crop top district, not
Y'all are
chop shop,
chilling.
idiot.
It's downtime.
This is the fashion industry district.
I rolled a 3 and a 1.
Okay, just add one section to the clock. You did not find a chop shop. You did start to make the kinds of contacts though that you feel confident are leading you in the right direction. In terms of like you started meeting some of the local criminals on the ground that affiliate with the kinds of stuff that you're looking for, including a car thief
Ship thief.
named no, he's a car thief.
All
I
right.
want to be clear about this. He steals hover cars. Okay.
Hover cars.
Yo,
I mean, a
sex-
So this,
station of 8
this isn't
million
exactly
people.
the same, right? You know, but it's in the same kind of industry of theft.
How do they even reach the hover cars while they're parked?
See that you thought, oh, a car thief in the future, that's dumb.
That's dumb. No, they have
no.
to climb up
Then
to the
you
colony
actually thought
ceiling,
about it for a
and then they
second.
drop down
Yeah,
to the
you didn't
cars.
steal it.
Space ladders.
He parachutes down onto hover cars from the tops of tall buildings. While
The
They
thing is a ring,
they're
so he just gets
idling.
180 degrees from the car and drops from there through the center spindle.
Did you know that Brett's favorite reality TV show was Most Extreme Carjackers?
It's not what
This
you
is-
think. They just masturbate cars.
Suitably, this guy goes by the nickname Agile. So Agile the car thief. He seems like he didn't seem very trustful of you to like really tell you much, but he seemed like you're in to start finding the right kinds of people.
Alrighty then.
Brett,
Do we share clocks? I forget.
what do you mean?
I want to continue on T's mission.
You can contribute to someone else's long-term project with their consent.
T,
Okay.
do you consent?
All right.
I sneak into your room at night and do your puzzle for you.
No, okay is not enough. You have to say
Kinda
yes.
game? This is the kind of game I'm not sure if I should specify consent.
Enthusiastic.
I feel like
Yeah,
you should be
go
able to get
nuts.
involved with someone else's projects, whether they want you to or not. Now that I think about it.
Now, Brett knows what it's like in this macadamia nut world
Yeah.
of colonies and carjackers and all them seedy junkyard people. Because, you know, before Brett's unfortunate accident, he was, you know, a salvage worker. And sometimes, you know, you don't exactly work on the right side of the law. So
Sure.
he's going to head over to one of those semi-legal junkyard operations and see if they got any of the good shit in lately.
Okay. Do you
And
feel
you know,
like the way that you're doing this is more of like picking through the scrap pile or talking to somebody?
I think it's picking through the scrap pile because some of these guys, they just don't know what they got.
Yeah. I would count that as rig.
All right. Boop, boop, boo.
Looking for
That's
a
rigged
useful
too.
machine in the piles.
Are we able to help in these sorts of things, or would that
Nope.
like count as our action as well, like a second action?
You can assist, but it costs you stress.
I can assist if you want assist. I have
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so the microwave comes along too. Hearing that, you know, you're looking through junk piles. That
Yeah,
sounds
we all
good.
junkers. Look out for the tetanus, though. Space tetanus is even worse than regular tetanus.
So yeah, there's like these junkyards because obviously trash doesn't have anywhere to go on a space station except out into space. And obviously a lot of trash is shot into space, but there's an attempt to, recover useful materials where you can. And so junking isn't even like an entirely unglamorous profession for some people. However, those aren't the people that you're going to see. And there are definitely, people who have set up some very large sort of junkyards full of, not just ship parts, everything, but certainly plenty of ship parts that are, some of them are a little on the seedy side. This one that you go to is the kind where, there's seems like there might be some people living in it.
Yeah, this is like a 100-mile wide junkyard.
Yeah, it's huge and just like
You wander past a pile of ET Atari cartridges and then Garfield phones, and
Yeah, there's like 4 spaceships tied together, and people are just like living in it.
Some Earth ships. They're Earth ships, I think.
Yeah, like actual junks.
So you take an extra die for Microwave's help and make that rig roll as you pick through the just massive piles of mostly worthless garbage.
Oh, it's absolute garbage.
But with those little gems hiding in there.
That hidden gem. I got a 5, a 5, and a 6.
You find all of the TV guides you've ever wanted so badly, and now you can read them and find out what was on in 1987.
Turns out America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It's very popular somehow.
You certainly don't find like a working cloaking device. However, picking through the junkyard, you notice that like some piles are just obviously better than others. And that certain piles, it seems like people are kind of like almost hiding things in.
Mm-hmm.
You start to get the sense that like there might be some like deliberate hidden caches out here in this giant junkyard, which kind of makes sense when you think about it. Because nobody's going to go picking through some of these piles. So
who would spend their precious downtime actions doing that?
Wait, wouldn't a ship junkyard be horrifically radioactive?
It's okay. In the future, they have cures for radiation poisoning.
Okay,
Maybe.
cool.
Well, otherwise,
maybe.
We just come home and drink our base milk, and it's all fine.
Yeah, everyone just has to drink that weird chalky milk every day in the future. It's no big deal.
Have you had your 10 pounds of iodine this week?
No, I'm just smoking one of these weird red cigarettes like in Screamers.
Don't forget to vent your lymph glands this week.
No, but actually there's these large like robots on wheels that just go around slowly through the junkyard soaking up radiation.
Just
Where
like
it goes from
radiovores.
Oh,
No
sweet,
one
it's a
knows.
giant Roomba.
Question too scary to ask.
Yeah, them just asking for you to kill them all the time, that's just a bug in the programming. Don't pay any attention to that.
It's because of all the cosmic radiation hitting them.
Yeah.
I'm
their systems
conscious.
malfunction.
I'm conscious. Help! Help!
So,
Help!
Brett,
My body is not my own.
you realize, like I said, that people are kind of hiding some good parts in here, like deliberately, and you start to like figure out some of the patterns of how those parts are being hidden by whoever's doing it. You don't know, because you're like finding these like specific boxes that look the same hidden in certain piles, and then you open them up, and what do you know? There's like usually something small, but like, oh, look at that. That's like a perfectly good, engine
these.
power coupler or whatever. Like, it's a perfectly good weed pen just laying there in the,
I say. Have you noticed, Brett, that the caches we've been noticing are completely predictable via an EC decryption sequence using the seed number 853278943. And this goes on for like 3 minutes.
I feel like if I was anywhere close, I'd just be like, "Shut up, nerd!"
And Brett is also like, shut up, nerd. Because this is not him saying it.
That damn AI.
That freaking AI.
So, in particular, you get the feeling that if y'all were to find a non-working cloaking device in the right kind of shape, that you could fix it with some of the stuff that you find out here. So advance that clock.
All right.
Say 2 more spaces.
And also,
No,
Brett
3
is
more.
a
Sorry,
tinkerer.
rolled a 6.
Brett's a tinkerer, though. So
Yeah.
when you work on a clock with rig or hack, or when you study a schematic, fill +1 segment.
Oh shit!
Did you finish it? Is it a 4?
I thought we said it was a 6 segment.
Oh,
So it's up to 5.
Up to 5.
close.
Teeth, you're muted.
You can still see half of the thing.
All right, 5 out of 6.
So-
Because Brett did some shit.
Well, and Microwave too helped pick through the piles.
And
So Brett and Microwave pick through the piles at the junkyard. They come back to you and they say, "Hey, Teeth, you don't even have to find a working cloaking device. Just find something that barely works."
What am I gonna tell Agile? Me and him, we got a report going. We got something. We got something. There was a spark.
You and Agile got something special.
I could have had a friend for life. Now,
Yeah, and
I mean, you
now
still
when
need to
you
find-
tell
still
Agile
need
that
to
you don't
find
have
a
something
device,
to buy.
so maybe Agile's the guy still.
Yeah. Don't piss off
Microwave,
Agile,
do you have
though.
a second downtime action in mind?
So you know how I've been looking around the ship? Is there something small that I could steal that was worth a little bit of money that wouldn't influence us too much?
For what purposes?
So I can indulge my vice in gambling.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you probably could
I don't have
find.
any money. I just got out of prison. So.
You know what you have actually that you could turn into some gambling money? You got a lot of cabbages.
Cabbage heist.
For a couple hours. Does that give me one stress trying to sell all these cabbages?
No.
I should.
Yeah. What's your vice?
Gambling. I
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah,
like to gamble, and you better keep all your valuable things.
What
away
kind of
from me.
gambling? What kind of gambling does Microwave do?
You know, dice. Because we're
Dice?
rolling in it.
Okay. I wonder what the dice could have been inspired by.
Jeez.
Cool. So you go down to a place where they throw dice. Well, actually, they throw holographic dice because they're perfectly weighted and you can't replace them.
Not real.
This is a hologram. I don't know.
You can
what
watch
think
the
you're seeing.
algorithm run behind it on the table, randomizing the numbers purely and truly. It's not made.
They just have a wall of lava lamps, and they use that as a random number generator.
There we go.
That's a thing in real life, by the way.
I mean, random's random. It's a substance. That's a great.
I have like mild hacking skill. I'm always trying to hack and cheat just a little bit, but I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. So there's a wall of lava lamps that determines the outcome of the holographic dice. Yeah. So you need to roll your lowest attribute. So again, your attributes are the super stat: insight, prowess, or resolve, and whatever, how many dots you have in it.
It's gonna be resolved.
Which
And I
is 0.
don't
in
have
it.
anything in
Okay.
resolve.
Yeah. So roll 2 dice and take the lowest result.
Okay. 2. Oh, I
Alright.
rolled a 6 on the other one.
Clear 2 stress.
That's good. I didn't overdose.
Groucho.
I think I figured out what to do. I was gonna ask if there were any local like crime bosses that I could deliver one of my luxury items to as a like acquire asset thing associated with like I guess gaining a little bit of
Money?
function with them.
Yeah, you can acquiring an asset doesn't have to be always have to be a device. It can be like temporary help from a gang.
Oh, okay. I must have misread what I was.
If y'all might remember from our Blades in the Dark game, some people did do this a couple of times.
Maybe you're talking to Little Nuts. That was his name, right?
Yeah. Do you want Lil Nuts crime gang to help or somebody else?
Golly, as many opportunities as we could have to say that.
No, Lil Nuts is a squirrel criminal.
Well, I was assuming we would like associate with like a human gang, but I guess
Yeah, but you're a dog.
I'm just asking you. Are you using that contact, or do you wanna try to get?
I guess I'll use Little Nuts. Yeah. Oh boy, this is gonna be a thing.
So, if you gave Lil Nuts some luxury gifts and hung out with him, whatever, you could probably get like extra intel on the next mission because he's got spies all over the city.
Of course. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
No, not squirrel spies. He has people working for him that
People
are spies.
working for him.
I understand.
Ferocious looking
now.
little guy. It's a misnomer. He goes by Little Nuts. His nuts are huge.
Does not run a gang of squirrels. He is a criminal squirrel that runs an ordinary gang.
Hey, boss.
There is one other squirrel in the gang, but we won't talk about that right now.
Boss, you
Tilted
gotta
at a
stop
rockish
paying
angle.
us in acorns. What are you talking about? That's good shit.
Oh, like what?
First you get the acorns, then you get the money, then you get the power.
Then you can use that power to get more acorns.
Hey, this is some grade A premium
So does
acorn flour.
Does that please you, Groucho? Are you happy with that? You'll get.
Yeah, that seems like
Yeah.
a fucking.
All right,
That seems
you
like
go-
a good
you
plan.
go-
I'm sorry, cursing.
Groucho goes and hangs out with Lil Nuts. And
A squirrel. Homie.
it's one of those things where he likes hanging out with you because a squirrel looks really tough hanging out with a dog somewhere.
I mean, like he rides on my back.
Like none of the samurai pizza cats are gonna fuck with Little Nuts right now.
Yeah, especially Groucho, dude. He'll fucking shank you. Sorry.
Watching the nuts.
We're past the first 90 seconds, so it's more acceptable.
See?
So
Only God can punish us now.
so during the next mission, you can call upon the asset of Lil Nuts intel.
What does Little
Intel
Nuts sound
squad.
like, Kennedy?
But only if you stay relatively close by. If you decide that your next mission's on the moon, he can't help you.
Okay. What does Little Nuts sound like, by the way, Kennedy? I was just wondering.
Lil Nuts speaks directly into your mind using a telepathic device, and it's actually very intrusive and uncomfortable.
All right, man.
That'll teach you to ask questions, won't it?
Woo! Learned my lesson.
Every time you always like feel like it's not as bad as you remember it being, but then it's worse.
It's like having your hand shoved into like freezing cold water and then someone like rubs salt over it, you know?
It's like having your camera freeze all of a sudden.
It's like rain on your wedding day. It's like 1,000 forks when all you need is a spoon. Oh, this is a
10,000
pogger face right now. Oh, no, it unfroze the moment I
did
took
it?
a screenshot.
Yay! Okay. I don't know what it was like for the viewers. We had a technical hiccup there on our side.
I love that look.
Okay. Groucho, did you have another?
My other one was going to be to try
Right.
to reduce the heat again.
Oh, okay.
Because we're down to 2, right?
Yeah, so you could lay low and.
Yeah, I was going to do the lay low.
So what do you do? to
Erase
get
this
the
whole
heat
prison
off
break from memory. Yeah.
Sid's been doing a whole disinformation campaign, just posting on future Reddit.
That's its actual name.
It's Reddit
That's
for
its
friends.
name. Unfortunately, it's a very unfortunate website.
Alrighty.
Just basically trying to mislead people about what happened, who is responsible, etc. Groucho, what do you do to sort of help out with the laying low?
Okay, so what I do in this situation is I'm hanging out with Little Nuts still, I assume. So I ask him, hey,
on a drug binge with Lil Nuts for several days, yeah.
Could you like help me out here, homie? Like, do you know anybody in your organization? Do you know how to get rid of like my mustache, like, and my eyebrows? Like, not right now, but like on the poster, like just make it disappear. Like, just change my face on the poster. Like the wanted poster, that needs to disappear. Like, go away somehow. Do you know anybody to do that? Oh God, you're gonna talk to me in my mind again, aren't you?
Yeah, Lil Nuts is intrusively talking in your mind again, but he can help you. So
just convince the solar system that the face on the poster is a deep fake.
Well, yeah,
that's not what you actually look like.
Unfortunately, we used the memification of Groucho during the process, because he was part of some of the document, some of the photography that came out. So we just had to. Well, unfortunately, we did have to use Groucho as part of the meme campaign. However, I believe yes, we could convince him he's a deep fake.
Put Mike Tyson and like superficialize it over my face. That'll cover up everything.
What meme is Groucho? Is it like Hipster Dog is watching you be mainstream?
I don't even know.
Ooh.
That's your homework for next session.
Yeah,
create some Groucho Barks memes.
Options.
Yeah, make a Groucho meme.
All right, so the heat is officially off you.
The heat is off.
No more heat left. You did it. That's not to say that you'll be out of trouble with law enforcement for long, but at the moment, they don't know who stole this tugboat or why. And luckily, y'all didn't have like a clear motive in the first place. You just wanted out of there. So they're still trying to. They assume that it's like a larger gang and it's a part of something bigger still. They really kind of ruled out the possibility that it was just a bunch of knuckleheads banding together at the last second and throwing crickets everywhere. So law enforcement is looking in all the wrong places, and y'all are good for now.
I do want to correct you. It was not at the last minute. We had at least 2 weeks of prep time. All right.
It's true. Teeth, did you have a second downtime action in mind?
Yeah, I believe I have a few stress from the opening. So I got like 3 or so. I would like to go ahead and reduce that using my vice, which, according to my character sheet, is AI customer service line with sexy voice. So I would like
please
to
explain. Please explain this to the audience.
Wolf is just, or Teeth rather, is just enamored with customer service line. I have a bit of something ready for that. So
wait, you like recorded something?
No, I didn't record something. I'm ready to go through with it.
Do you need someone to be on the other side?
No,
or
I'll do.
I'm gonna say in game it is Sid, but never gonna bring this up. Like he's in the cyber cafe, just gets the call, like just runs it in a side process while he's doing something else.
Yeah.
Sid says, "Don't ask, don't tell."
Yeah.
Look,
so
we all make money somehow.
Wolf, Teeth rather, just go. He finds a quiet part of the ship, just sits back, dials up on his space phone.
Admitted it's Garfield phone.
Thank you for calling Spidopolis and Spidopolis's Gira Emporium, now located under the I-85 Hyperpass on Titan's Rawway District. My name is Elizabeth. Please specify your request and I will try to help you. Hey, baby. It's me again. I just had a, you know, I was going away. I had a rough few days. I'm sorry. I didn't understand you. Please repeat your request. Yeah, sometimes I almost killed a man, and it gets. I saw a man devoured by crickets. Please hold while I process your request. And just, it gets to me. It gets to me.
How long was
Okay.
Teeth in prison?
Too long, I
Like-
think.
Oh, he's lonely.
About 20 minutes.
Yeah, like a week.
Yeah, like we started planning the heist 2 weeks ago. He was there
I
for
can't
15
take it.
days.
I gotta get out of here. Like, you just got in. What?
Teeth
What
just
do-
got
what
to that
do I got?
prison and he was like, I need out. What's up?
I need out. I'm also going to rule this town.
I don't like it in here. Why are you guys staying? We should all leave.
We're
Let's
all
leave.
leaved. What's-
That
You
was
guys are
terrible.
idiots.
that?
I'm a
They
business
can't have
genius.
all of us arrested. We're
What do I
already
gotta roll
arrested.
for-
All right. So
stressing
you
out?
roll your lowest attribute
My
for
lowest
desperately
attribute.
trying to get therapy from a robot that doesn't understand you.
I
Oh, like
mean,
it was
I got,
going great with my people therapist at home.
I got 2 in everything. Or
Okay.
wait,
Well then,
wait. I forget how to calculate.
Down the
attributes. Is it-
line.
Yeah.
the-
Okay, so wait, is it the lowest skill or is
lowest
it?
attribute.
Over,
So
like the overall thing.
Oh,
so-
the overall. Okay, yeah. The
Yeah,
lowest
your
thing I have is
overall.
2 then.
Okay.
2.
let's roll 2 dice.
Sorry,
Yeah, no worries.
I got a 3 and a 2.
All right. Well then, take 3 stress off.
Alrighty.
No,
Is it the is it the highest or the lowest?
it's the highest because he's legitimately rolling 2 dice, not rolling 0 dice.
Okay. I have no more stress.
You're at literally 0, not below.
I believe I had 3 and now I am at 0.
Sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. That customer service line, she knows what to say without saying anything at all because she doesn't say anything useful.
It's all
Brett,
recorded somewhere, but
Man, you
what
pushed
you
my
got
button.
one more?
Yep.
You got one more
Um,
in you?
Yep. So Brett's going to be training his sway. And to do that, he is going to that cyber cafe for robots. And he's going to talk with his parasite. Oh, we lost Kennedy.
No, I'm
He's
here.
doing his. Oh, there he is. In a flash of smoke, he's back. They're back. Like a genie. So Brett plugs a speaker, like cable, into his spine where that parasite is. And he goes, all right, look, I don't like you, and you don't like all sentient life in the galaxy. But while we're in this body, you and I are going to have to set some ground rules, and we're going to have to learn how to get along.
Mm.
So, you scratch my back by not overtaking my spinal column, and maybe, just maybe, I can do something for you. Now, Now, look. I may be a small town omnicidal AI, but I did download some schematics from one of them spider robots the other day. And let me say, they are far more amenable to communication than you are. Look, I get it. You want to destroy humanity. You want guns. I don't like guns. Who cares? All right? I'll just plug you into things occasionally and you can shoot things. But only when those things aren't me or the people I'm working with. Okay? Okay. And it goes on like that for like an hour.
Yeah.
I would say.
Sid comes by and like looks at, like, kind of pokes you and waves his hand in front of your face. You're just like nothing. I'm like,
There is a JPEG of Colonel Sanders displayed on the computer that it's
I was
speaking
wondering
out of.
if there was a visual interface for this, but it's not great. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. I mean, it doesn't sound high res, but
It's like
he does
70 pixels tops.
So yeah, you get an experience for that.
It sounds like an experience.
in the resolve track. You may not have convinced the AI of much, nor it convinced you of much, but you've increased your resolve.
Brett is humanity's savior. They just don't know it yet.
All right, so everyone spends a few days just cooling off, kicking it around town, indulging vices, going to bars, meeting new people, and just having a good old time here on the everlasting macadamia.
Getting our chassis polished. Stop up. We were in prison. It's not. They don't have, like,
Yeah, no,
Hey, we're
yeah,
enjoying our freedom.
go get a little buff and shine.
I am just
So-
getting high as hell with that squirrel.
Just getting high as hell with a squirrel, etc. But after a few days of this, you come back to reality. You've taken a ship, which is an expensive thing to have. Also, you have your own needs such as food, drugs, sleep, etc. And you're gonna need money. Y'all are flat broke. Nothing in your pockets. Nothing. I mean, you've got like
They've run an inventory of
if
the
you-
remaining materials on the ship, and we seem to have 0 fungible goods.
Like if
I
you
went
scrape
through,
together every dollar on
why
the
are you
ship,
so
y'all could
happy?
probably go out for one more night on the town, and that's it.
I went through the crew quarters and took like all the money from the old crew that we stole the ship from and used it to buy a synthetic alligator skin suit. And, unfortunately, that was a necessity.
We should name this ship the Diego Velasquez because we are flat out Baroque.
Also, you really didn't have time to do anything like rob the tugboat captain for his money or something like that. You had to just get the heck out of there and get the ship.
For
So-
clarity, the tugboat captain was named Steve, not Rob.
His middle name is Robert.
He was in the airlock.
Stephen Robert Tugboat.
Inventor of tugboats?
No, not the inventor. He's like the great. Anyway,
And that goes on for like 10 minutes, yeah.
So y'all are broke. So you find yourself a group of you kind of meeting up in the ship's mess hall, and it's amazing how in just a little under a week, the ship already looks a little bit like an anarchist punk squat. It's a little bit of graffiti on the walls. There's some like makeshift furniture in here that you're not really sure why it's here, how it got here.
Dragged it in.
It's just generally like looks like 20 to 30 prisoners stole this ship, and have been just kind of going ham and not really thinking too much about the consequences. And it's time somebody think about the consequences of owning an expensive spaceship. So you meet up in the mess hall, and it ends up just kind of being the 5 of you there needing to come up with a plan. It seems everybody else is too preoccupied with some minor project or stressed out or just MIA. So the 5 of you realize, Scott, it's up to you to come up with whatever your next job's going to be to make some money around here. So, what do y'all think? And if maybe you need a few rumors about things going on near you, I can provide that.
Is Nuts with us?
Can be, I guess.
I mean, like, I assume he's just riding on my back.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking him
Holding
for
on to my
potential
ears.
help with the mission. So yeah, he's just you like when you realize that like you've got to get back to the ship because like shit, people are trying to come up with plans or whatever. Nuts is just like, I'll come too, dude. Whatever, you know.
This whole thing I've got going on,
Come on, Dad!
Galileo, doesn't mean anything to me. Just gotta ride on this dog's back now.
You're just hanging out now.
So yeah, what are you thinking? Do you have any kind of any ideas already, or do you want some rumors?
Groucho, I did just send you a little bit of concept. If Small Little Nuts wants to talk about it as a potential heist, and also if that's lore appropriate, I don't know.
Meanwhile, Sid is just cleaning. Like, Sid has been cleaning, and this is not great for him. Like, the squirrel riding in on Groucho is kind of starting to bring it to like this passive is starting to be passive aggressive lines written, commented out in code in the ship, and it's getting thick. But because it is like, I don't know, customer service droid. Got to keep things tidy. It's part of the process. Got to maintain it. Yeah, but it's clearly starting to glitch out. Good.
Okay, sure.
But nothing, like, will not say anything. Just know that. Like.
Okay.
So while y'all were out and about around town, kind of living it up, partying, etc., you heard some interesting things, and here's just a few of them. You heard that Mathis Atomics has a supply line out here where they're moving some valuable materials regularly that has become kind of run down, lackadaisical, and almost lacking in security entirely. And that it's a prime target if you might be looking to steal some valuable goods from a relatively undefended cargo ship. You also heard that one of the last battlefields of the war is not super far from here. It's like just a little outside of the orbit of Luna. And right now it's like somewhat aligned with Galileo, where it's at in its orbit. And this particular battlefield, because it's one of the last battlefields of the war, still has a lot of interesting salvage in it. Also has a lot of pirates, which could be a problem or a different opportunity, depending on what you're interested in.
A pirate is just a friend you haven't made yet.
Well, there's that, but also
or someone you have yet to rob.
Have large bounties on their head. There's one in particular, this guy called Skip One. He's a robot. You couldn't tell from the name.
Is it Skip Tac One, or is it SKIPONE?
It's all capitals, Skip, period, #1.
With the Octothorpe.
I'm going to just make a banner.
It takes 20 minutes for Sid to explain this to you.
Sid just keeps trying to explain, and
so
Brett's like, wait.
SKIPDOT?
Yeah, this was Brett's.
So
this was Brett's favorite game in college. Just screwing with the androids.
It is not that difficult. I will explain it again.
Now, are you talking about in English lettering, or are you talking Neo-Cyrillic?
Unicode Unicode format 826. And please.
Which release of Unicode are you talking about, though? Because they made some major changes with the 3083 release.
Okay, look, you riff Sid into having smoke come out of his ears. I can't. Plot us up. Plot hook us, please.
Another rumor you've heard is that a small company called Biomation is on the down low hiring a group for a corporate sabotage mission.
Ooh, Shadowrun.
It sounds like mostly surveillance, but maybe a little bit of action. Let's see.
Our combat capabilities are remarkably limited as a group.
Also, if you want to fuck with Scylla again, Scylla has a smuggling operation. They smuggle high value orchids.
Wait,
You're gonna
I
say
thought they were
orchids.
I thought they were a legitimate business.
Yeah, it's a florist. They're florists.
Some of these orchids are not legal to import into space, you see.
Because of worries that they might become an
They might
invasive
die.
species
That
in
they
the
might
vacuum
die,
of
no,
space.
that they might die out on Earth.
Oh.
See, they're highly desirable plants that people are stealing from Earth and then taking to space, and then collectors buy them. Scylla has a whole operation involving that. So again, to kind of like go back over what we've covered, Mathis Atomics has a trade route near here that is very poorly defended, and this is not well known yet. One of the first battlefields of the war is near here right now and provides salvage opportunities. And also there's some pirates with bounties there, including Skip One, and also a guy named Cap FedEx. Biomation is looking for someone to do a corporate sabotage gig. And also, last but certainly not least, Scylla has a illegal orchid smuggling operation, smuggling orchids to rich people who live in Galileo, and other illegally imported plants from Earth.
Well,
That sounds all right because we could probably make some money off that. But the corporate sabotage is kind of what I'm looking at. If we can get in with the corporate people, we can really make some money.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like...
Horribly wrong, it'll be really funny.
What are they going to do? Reject us based on our background check? Come on.
now I don't know about you folks, but I just got out of jail, and I'm not looking to go back.
For the record,
If you commit
also,
white collar crime, it's not illegal.
if you're interested in, if
Yeah,
you
they'll
were
cover you.
to be interested in the other side of that, the company that Biomation is looking for surveillance on is Nova Dynamics. The bare information that there may be some kind of corporate sabotage attempt upon them is not enough to really do much with them, but you may be able to play this in the other direction too.
Now, I'm not looking to commit any real crimes, but as we know, in the future, corporate sabotage is technically legal. So, yeah,
It's legal. It's legal depending on the number of thousands of dollars in damages.
In the far future.
The higher you get, the more legal it is.
The more legal.
In the far future, tax fraud is mandatory.
The First Amendment to the Space Constitution is, of course, it's not illegal if there's no cops.
The Sponstitution. Space Constitution.
Yeah, I'm down for some corporate sabotage.
Yeah,
or
let's do some
surveillance.
Shadowrun.
All right, so word on the street, as I've said, is that Biomation is hiring people for corporate sabotage. And also, it's well known that their main corporate enemy is Nova Dynamics. So that's probably who you'd be targeting if you take a job from them. Do you want to, like, basically, you want to run this straight and take a job from them, or do you want to try to double cross them somehow? Would be like the first big question.
What do these companies do?
Biomation does space phones, and Nova Dynamics does space phones.
They actually. So
No,
wait, what were the names again? Let me get this straight.
Biomation.
Biomation and Nova Dynamics.
So
Biomation does
Biomation-
And
biological.
Nova
space.
Dynamics is like the larger, more established brand.
Mhm.
And they have they don't have their headquarters, but they have one of their major corporate branches here in Galileo. And then Biomation is headquartered here and would kind of like to shoulder Nova Dynamics out of the market, at least for this area. You know, like maybe
Yeah.
not everywhere, but here.
So I'm gonna create some canon lore now.
Okay.
Biomation produces the Heath phone, and Novacore is licensed by the estate of Jimothy Davis and produces novelty Garfield phones.
Yeah.
One of
And
them.
by the way,
is a
space phones
sentient-
are like they're like a little capsule,
Oh.
like Dragon Ball Z, and then you press a button, and then a big old style phone comes out.
The whole phone booth.
Yeah, so like the most popular model is a giant burger that is also shaped like Garfield, and like the lettuce and patty segment is what opens up for you to actually make phone calls.
This is like a pure novelty thing, to be clear. Like Star Trek communicators have existed for like 100 years already, but it is considered stylish to have a cool space phone.
Yeah, too many people have been embarrassed by thinking people were talking to them, but really they just had this microscopically sized communicator in their ear when they were
Yeah.
talking to the other person.
Really awkward situations.
It's like, hey, how are you? Oh yeah, I'm doing great. And then they just like tap their iris and be like, I'm on a phone call. Exactly like that.
Yeah, you gotta have a big chunky space phone or you're not cool.
Yeah.
That's all the rage. Also, they're more secure than other methods of communication.
Because if someone sneaks up behind you and is listening to you, you can club them to death with your giant phone.
Exactly.
Yeah, but also, if all your communications run through your spaceship, that presents more opportunities for someone to intercept them.
Teeth only uses slug phones that just go into your ear.
All right, you
And-
freaking hipster.
Oh, those are so
God,
so
what are you, my
weird.
dad?
And you have to feed them or they die.
It's
Those are
fine.
known
You
to the
just,
colony
you just
of
get a
Luna.
little fish food. Just
The slug phone is really popular among the white collar crowd because if you sweat, it dies. So it's a real luxury symbol to
Mhm,
show that you do not actually sweat in your work.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
Or
no
that you're
hard
just-
physical labor.
You're a stone cold killer.
I burn through 5 phones a day.
Hmm.
Are you a shark or are you a slug eater?
Of course, in Teeth's case, he just stopped sweating, about 7 years ago because of burning out all of his adrenal system.
Yeah. You know, the too much pressure and you get into the flow of things and suddenly your sweat glands stop working.
So
Okay, what's with this rumor?
yeah, so Biomation wants to, strong arm Nova Dynamics out of the space phone market, at least in Galileo for the most part. Space phones, everybody's got to have a space phone, and use it for everything. And Nova Dynamics, again, like I said, they've got a major corporate headquarters out here, but it's not their main headquarters. It's like a branch office. And then Biomation is centered here, was started here, and would like to, get this competitor out of the area somewhat. Or at least like take them down a few notches and kind of take over the market. So,
Well,
potentially both sides of this rivalry are looking for a certain amount of work, but certainly Biomation is like word on the street is they're hiring.
It seems simpler to take the job that exists than to create the job that exists to counteract that job for both
Yeah.
narrative purposes and in general.
I feel like tracking down this person, whoever's looking for people from Biomation. I think that's probably the right path.
But the real
I have already
answer-
emailed them. We have an appointment for this afternoon.
So
Guys, Heath or Garfield, I can't decide.
Groucho puts on a little bow tie and then puts on a little suit on little nuts.
Brett puts on his
ready.
finest pop collar.
So about like 20 minutes later, you get a hologram call from because that's one of the things a space phone can do. It can be just the audio, or you like hold it out and whoop, hologram.
Is it a singing hologram or just a regular
No,
hologram?
it's just like FaceTime. Come on.
I don't
I
even
can
use
apply an
FaceTime.
auto-tune
And,
filter if you would
you-
like.
You get in
Please.
touch with an operative from a very obvious shell corporation called New Tech Networks. And New Tech Networks is hiring today operatives in your area that can provide certain kinds of digital or physical intel.
Hello, we would like to speak to representative, chicken tender. Hello, mechanism,
You know,
broken
it's
call.
all very corporate jargon, and everything is kind of, you know, 3 levels of obfuscation. But you get the impression that basically Biomation is looking for people to do a few different kinds of things, and that you could potentially kind of make your own way about it, and then bring them this kind of intel, and they'll pay handsomely. So the kinds of things that they're looking for are they're looking for information about like specifically they're looking for a download of the newest Nova Dynamics OS for their space phones. Like they want an image of the unreleased OS. Is one thing that they're looking for sure, or anything or any other like highly relevant data pertaining to the newest developed OS that has not yet been released.
So basically, they want
Or any OSs ahead of that as well. If there's anything further, like if they have like another one that's like just barely started, that's just as good or better.
Yeah, so Brett pulls out his Heath phone and he pulls open his Uber for Crime app. That's the actual name of it. And he's like leafing through all of these postings.
it's called
So-
Kruger.
Anyone who can bring them that kind of that kind of data, highly valuable. Also in development by Nova Dynamics right now, is a new type of military deployable communications relay tower that would be like 4 battlefields, like putting it out somewhere to set up like a dedicated secure communications line to a headquarters type of thing. If anyone can steal any of the major components involved with that, or an entire prototype, that's highly valuable to them. So those are like the 2 major things that they're looking for, are this deployable military antenna and the OS. They're also interested in some other aspects of Nova Dynamics operations, but it doesn't sound like anything else would pay a whole heck of a lot. Those are the 2 that they're willing to put some money on the line for.
I'm gonna say I think this OS sounds promising. Just because we have a lot of soft skills. Let's be honest here. And just a little corporate infiltration. Just getting in there. Maybe
I
we
want to
can.
steal the prototype.
In the interest of expectation management, let's simply break in or acquire these assets, whichever we may find on our journeys.
Or
Steal
just any
the
of them, yeah.
prototype.
Oh, well, I mean, surely, yes. It is easier to carry software. I agree.
I agree.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So
Accept
it seems like
job.
the OS prototype is winning the
Wait,
vote.
Can we do both?
One imagines that the facility that these are housed in will be similar, if not the same.
Just depends on whether we're
They've got a
successful at hacking or
fair
not.
few offices. There's the one main one, but then they've got like a fair few like R&D labs and things like that. You may not be able to find. You might be able to find like a valuable part from the antenna. The same place you find the OS, you may not be able to find both in the same place unless you're willing to just break into the corporate branch office, which would be your most likely place to find both if you felt so brave. But
that would
they have a
presumably-
number of more lightly guarded R&D facilities around Galileo. Some of them are in colonies, and a few of them are in space stations. It's just small, like self-contained space stations of their own. And one of them is right here in the everlasting macadamia, in terms of the ones that are in colonies.
We should maintain a locally sourcing a policy of locally sourcing our crime. I mean, work.
The way I see this is just a stepping stone. All right, we got to get a firm base, and then we go on to bigger things. So let's stay local for right now. Let's we just got here. Let's get comfortable. Let's get situated.
I don't even know how the ship works yet, so I don't know if I can infiltrate a whole corporation.
Who's driving? How do we do that? How did we get here?
We will have to convince the
Sounds
rest
like
of
let's
the crew.
avoid too much using the ship and just stay right here at the
Let's stay
macadamia.
grounded for now.
That's what everybody's feeling.
Yeah.
We'll come back with money and therefore authority, and then we'll have some legitimate ability to command the 20 people that are just piling up pizza boxes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so definitely part of the reason, obviously, why they're hiring here is because there's a research facility here that, as far as you can tell, seems to have information pertaining to the new Nova Dynamics Space Phone OS 7.9 Snow Eagle.
Well, I'd like to. I'll plug up to the whatever robot LinkedIn is. It's just a long hex string, but I hear
this version's gonna have multitasking enabled.
Ooh,
Finally, two apps on the same
true
screen.
Multitasking, not
not the fake multi. Yeah.
Not context switching.
Does Nuts have any information on any of this at all?
Yeah, I mean, Lil Nuts does surveillance all over the everlasting macadamia, and
So funny.
yeah. So the R&D facility is like basically, the end of the the colony is like kind of like a long tube for the most part. There's like some larger structure around it, but like the part where people live for the most part is this long cylindrical section. Because everything's a gun or a phallus in space, as we discussed earlier. So basically, like at one end of the tube is like where ships dock more so and stuff. Like there's some docking further down, but there's like a major docking area, and that's where y'all are. And also like that's where like at that end of the colony, it's like more densely populated and such. You go further to the other end of the colony. And things kind of spread out a little bit. There's some estates where some wealthy people live. There's a few farms that produce like artisanal products, mostly again for the wealthy. And then there's like also some of the like nicer corporate offices are kind of tucked away in some little corporate parks back on this end. So like basically out there on the quieter end of the colony, in one of these like corporate parks, Nova Dynamics has this large research building. It's mostly metal and glass, lots of domes. It's very magnificent looking in many respects. It's also, as a result, like high visibility, and like sneaking into it can be a bit challenging. However, once you're on the inside, it is really big, and there are tons of hallways and blah blah blah, places. But it is like, it was designed for like a security guard to be able to like be walking around the building, and also like watching like various parts of the building inside as they're walking around the outside, or walking around the inside and looking at the outside, and like just being always having a high visibility kind of situation. So that could be a bit of a challenge perhaps, but that's basically what it's like. And directly around it are like some other buildings for like other corporations. None of them are quite as impressive, although some of them are kind of like similarly styled. Presumably, like some of them hired the same architect to sort of, fit in, look cool or whatever. So, yeah, that's what Lil Nuts can tell you about it. Basically, is that like it's out there in these corporate parks, and where things are a little quieter, just in general. And it was designed from the ground up for security to be able to kind of see what everyone's up to, including their own employees, of course, because that's a major concern for them on many levels.
Their concern for the safety of their workers is unparalleled.
Oh, yeah, the safety.
So basically,
Mental
like one of
safety.
the better ways to sneak in would be to try and act like an employee.
Possibly. It's up to y'all.
Well,
Or
this
Or
is
security
one.
guard.
Yeah.
That's what we need to figure out at this point, is like, what's your major method of getting entrance to this
Alright.
facility, basically?
We're
starting the heist tonight?
Security guards.
No, we will figure out these final details, and then we will
Okay.
begin the heist next week, because we don't want to do 15 minutes of a heist.
Yeah, no.
You know what I find?
But what if we did do
Always.
15 minutes of the heist as a cliffhanger?
Well,
Yeah.
Because I have a really fun way to start the heist.
Well, you know
all
what
right,
I
let's-
find?
How do you want to start the heist, Brett? Let's hear it.
All right. We flash forward 3 weeks into the future. It's the night of the heist. All right. And then we flash back 2 weeks ago. Because Brett has gotten himself an internship with this company.
All right. Well, on the way to that, I find the best method to get into these sorts of organizations is blackmail. So
Jesus.
Let's back up, because I haven't gotten on Robot LinkedIn. I'll be supplying information to both of them and working in aid and support. So yeah, but
Hold on. Let's make sure we're all in agreement about the sort of method of.
So I was
I like that we
wondering,
all get jobs.
does Little Nuts know anybody out there
That works there?
that works there?
No.
Damn.
Lil Nuts hangs out with drug addicts.
God damn it. Well, that's gonna be some.
And while some drug addicts do work in the R&D facility at Nova Dynamics, it's not the same ones.
I feel like I just need to beat up a guy outside of a place with the right uniform and get his tag and like fix it all up and shit.
I think we
potential.
can do like a multi-pronged approach, right?
Yeah,
We
one
get
of us
Brett-
creates an opening, and then the rest of our team uses that opening that's been created to really just
I'll do it.
penetrate these corporate facilities.
Oh, he did it. It's in there.
God damn it.
It's in.
But like the main plan is that you want to do this through like primarily like infiltration, stealth,
Mhm.
like sort of getting access.
Yeah, we just got the heat off. We don't want to.
Okay.
The heat is off.
I
The heat
guys,
is-
will probably be it's software and stuff that we need, so we really need to like not break things and get in there and get it.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, this could be a relatively quiet operation. We'll see.
Surely a premium would be paid
Depends
for
on how
a
well you
secret.
roll.
Depends on how it goes. So, but everybody feels good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess the question, Teeth, that blackmail thing.
Well, so as we know,
Did
they
you have
are
a thought there? Yeah, let's hear that.
as we know, the new OS is presumably in testing stage, right? So they might have, for instance, a few beta testers out there in the real world, because as we know, in the future, phones, they do all sorts of things. They can, I can't think of anything right now, but there's
They
all sorts
can-
of things.
You
Phone
can
calls,
summon a hover
obviously.
car driven by someone to take you where you want to go if you're too drunk to summon
They
your
can-
own hover
They
car.
can crash your hover car. They can set it on fire accidentally. It happens. They got to get this stuff out in the
An app
in the
to
testing
crash and then
phase.
repair your hover car.
Exactly. So presumably they have maybe some real world beta testers who have
Okay.
who might not have, the actual source code of the OS that we need, but they have an encrypted copy or whatever, and they also have access to the facility. Maybe we could, track one of them down, see, maybe someone's got some problems that need solving or problems that can be exploited. Some secrets maybe that can we can trade for some access.
Okay. Yeah, I think that seems totally reasonable. So would you just want to get some like key cards and that kind of stuff? Or
Yeah, you know what would be great for Brett is a letter of recommendation.
oh, so this is how it begins. Okay.
Maybe.
So you
Or a
blackmail. So
referral.
you find one of the beta testers, whose name is
Barbara.
Barbara.
Clementine.
Yeah. I was looking at this list of like sci-fi names that I generated. I was like, these are all too cool.
I was about to give you Beta O'Rourke.
No,
but-
I'm thinking the general idea is we get Brett in there for like,
Yeah.
he's in there for a little bit of time before, and then we all come in under a different assumed identity as like a whole other thing, and
I will
execute.
be
Here's what I'm hearing as the basic idea. Y'all could tell me if this sounds right. Is that Teeth finds Barbara Clementine, one of the beta testers of the new Space Phone OS 7.9 Snow Eagle, and he blackmails her. We don't need to really figure out too much about how this is done because it's very easy for Teeth to blackmail people.
Gets them hooked on crypto sigs.
And everybody's got secrets in a place like the everlasting macadamia. So so Teeth is able to quickly figure out that Barbara is hiding a double life as a hover car street racer from her family or whatever, and gets a letter of recommendation from her that helps
Just
get
or
Brett
whatever that.
hired for an
It's
internship.
called The Fast and the Floatiest. It's our hover car spin-off franchise. Check
Fast
it out
and the
next-
Floatiest too.
Why are there
Neo
so many
Tokyo Drift.
roads on a space station?
There
Shouldn't
aren't
they
roads,
just-
there's hover cars.
Where we're
Where
going,
we're going,
we don't need roads
them.
because
Boom.
we're in space. Obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
um, so that gets Brett through the door for an internship, and then Brett spends 2 weeks infiltrating their systems for the night of the big heist, which will be next week.
Big heist
Sounds good to me.
That sound right?
with little
Yeah.
nuts.
Phone heist.
Big heist with little nuts.
Phone heist. Phone heist. We're gonna steal a phone.
Wait, no,
And
hold on.
possibly-
Wait, hang on. I think we got this. We should write this down. It's not a phone, is it? One phone? We're gonna get a whole space.
We could steal 2 phones.
All right, I'm back in. Let's do it.
And I hear they have free Neo Reese's cups in the cafeteria.
Oh.
I'm allergic.
It's true.
I can't even. You can't even go. No, it's okay. They're not made of real chocolate. It's-
Yeah, the cow bean is extinct in the future.
Yeah.
But
think I'm
it's
still
okay
alive.
because chocolate was so good that they made cocoa bean too,
They may.
which is not toxic to dogs.
But
Any
it
sort
is
of tree
toxic-
nut I'm allergic
it is
to.
toxic to some other animals.
No, it's toxic to everyone else. It's a carcinogen recognized in 47 colonies.
What about little nuts?
All right. Well,
You need to
if
get
that's
that
the
too.
plan, then that'll be the plan next week. Breaking into the R&D facility for Nova Dynamics to steal the new OS and anything else good that you find. Because
And anything else not tied down, yeah.
yeah, Biomation seems willing to pay for
Codes.
things that you steal
Because I
in
break
Nova
out my
Dynamics.
second day.
Next time on Rolling in the Deep, we steal Garfield.
We're gonna take their teeth.
And I meant to ask Kennedy, is it cool if we bring our secondary next?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, if anyone, you don't have to bring Brett. You do, but if
Yes.
anyone else wants to bring a different character next week, that's fine.
Yeah, the dog might not fit in.
So
I'm
yeah,
just saying, like,
everybody
the dog
tune
is
in
gonna
to Rollin'
stand
In It.
the fuck out.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to Rollin' In It. We are the knuckleheads that you love. Good night. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 7 Eastern.